Hi everybody. I'd like to do a review of a deck. I've been meaning to do this review for ages and I just haven't gotten around to it. This is a little less mainstream of a deck. You can't get this deck anyplace except for GameCrafters.com. And this is the New Zealand Naturally Tarot deck. It's a deck by Angela Oliver. And she lives in New Zealand. Celebrating the unique flora and fauna of New Zealand. The past, present, and future of New Zealand is told in this whimsically illustrated tarot deck. Based on the popular Rider-Waite tarot, here New Zealand habitat replaces the traditional suits with wildlife to match. Find out what the future holds for you. And I have an affinity for wildlife-based decks. I'm an animal lover, a nature lover, so when I saw this on Game Crafters, I couldn't resist. Instead of a little white book, there's just a little white fold-out paper, and it's got the information that you need to know for this particular deck. The minor arcana are the suit of trees. Hold on just a second here. So that little paper folds into a big paper, like an 8.5 by 11 paper. It's got the information about the deck. Information on the major arcana is on this side over here. And then we have information on the minor arcana. The suits in this deck are suit of trees, suit of waves, and trees would correspond with wands. Waves would correspond with water. Then we also have the suit of peaks, which corresponds with swords or air. Peaks. And then we have the suit of coins, which of course is the same as other decks with coins as a suit. Alrighty, so there's a little bit of information on each card, you know, minimal, but enough to help you with the deck here. So that is the little white sheet of paper. I'll put that aside. Sorry for the, I hope I'm not making you seasick. I don't have my phone holder today, so I'm trying to hold the phone with one hand and do this with the other. Here is a picture of the artist. She signed the card, which is pretty nice. Let's go through the major arcana. The Fool is a kiwi. Really cute. The Magician. The High Priestess. Let me give you a little more information than just showing you the cards. Let's see. The High Priestess is the orange wattled kokako. The Magician is the European rabbit, and the Fool, of course, is the W-E-K-A, Wicca. So we have the Wicca as the Fool. We have the European rabbit as the Magician. Good choice. Got the lemniscate above his head. And then the High Priestess is the orange wattled kokako. Has not been seen since 1967 and is considered extinct, but there are reports of its haunting call. Sort of sad. The Empress is Pukeko. The Pukeko is fecund and widespread and almost considered a pest in the New Zealand. So Pukeko as the Empress. Then we have the Emperor, of course the red deer, the king of the forest. The Emperor. Really nice choice for the Emperor. The Hierophant is the Tuatara, an ancient survivor from the times of the dinosaurs. Next we have the lovers, which is the crested grebe. Engaging in elaborate courtship displays, the handsome crested grebe forms a seasonal monogamous partnership. Next we have the chariot, which is the wandering albatross. Few birds wander farther or further than the wandering albatross, which spends its life on the wing, landing only to feed and to breed. That's the corresponding to the chariot. Strength. In a primeval battle of the Titans, a Haast's eagle attacks a bush moa, which will prevail. The eagle was so dependent on the moa as a food source that when the great moa became extinct, the eagle was quick to follow. Oh, that's a sad story. The hermit is the whoops. Boy, the cards are really flipping. Got a mind of their own there. The hermit, the nocturnal flightless kakapo, became effectively extinct on the main islands of New Zealand in the 1970s, when the few surviving lone males boomed for females that would never come. Well, that's pretty sad too. That's the hermit. For a wheel of fortune, oh gosh. For a wheel of fortune, we have a pied shag, and a long-fin eel wait on either side of a water wheel, both hopeful that fortune will favor them with a tasty meal. Wheel of Fortune. Next we have number 11, which is Justice. And this is represented by the hula. Let's see. Let me read this to you about justice. The scales tipped the wrong way for the huia when the introduction of predators like the rat and hunting spelled its extinction in the early 1900s. So another extinct animal there. All right, next we move on to the Hanged Man, which in this deck is represented by the Nelson cave spider. Patiently waits for her next meal to come along. That is the Hanged Man in this deck. Number 13, Death. Now it seems like with all these extinct animals we've had plenty of death, but here is the Death card. The easy lives of New Zealand's native birds abruptly changed with the introduction of the predatory European stoat. So there is your agent of death. Number 14, Temperance. With care and patience, the kotuku waits for a fish he can bring out into the sun. Number 15, the Devil. The kea is one bird that must constantly face temptation. His curiosity and intelligence brings him into constant conflict with humans. That's the Devil. The Tower, number 16. New Zealand faced significant deforestation, first at the hands of the Maori, who burned tracts of it, and later and more destructively by the Europeans. Now only 24% of the native bush cove remains. So the death and destruction of the native habitat is representative of the Tower in this deck. The Star. The hatching of a white kiwi is considered a sign of good omens and new beginnings. And that is the representation in this deck of the star. Very nice. Finally, something positive. The moon. The two peka species are secretive and strange. Both evolved from ancestors migrating across the Tasman. One much later, 14 to 20 million years, than the other 2 million years. So that is the moon. Creatures of the moon. As we know, they're bat-like creatures there. This is the sun. Really pretty card. Frolicking in the sun, this tiny fantail snaps up tasty insects. That is the representation for the sun in this deck. Judgment. For months, the Puriri caterpillar has been hiding in the tree cavity. Now it is time for it to come out into the night dance under the moon and die after only a few days. Judgment. The world. Things have come together. The creatures of the sky, like the tern, joining those of the sea below. Now this deck has some extra major arcana cards. Here we have number 23, Chaos. So that's a little different. The brush-tail possum was introduced to New Zealand to encourage a fur industry. What it caused instead was chaos and destruction to both the native forest and the birds. A bush-tail possum caused chaos in New Zealand. Alrighty, so that is the major arcana. Alright, we're going to go through each suit individually in this deck because they're so different, and I do want to read you a little bit of information on each card. So this is, first we're going to go through the suit of peaks, the suit of intelligence and science. The peaks replaces the swords from the traditional Rider-Waite and represents the element of air. The alpine environment is one of the harshest and most unforgiving habitats in New Zealand. To survive, the animals must be both hardy and intelligent. The fauna here is a mix of native and introduced, with one domestic. So the Ace of Peaks. The Ace of Peaks is native broom. It spends most of its life being spiky and bare until suddenly blooming into life. The Two of Peaks, a chamois, balances precariously on a tiny peak. Should he go forward or backward? His life could hinge on this decision. So Two of Peaks, or Two of Air, Two of Swords. Here we have the Three of Swords, or Three of Peaks in this deck. A rock wren lies stunned or dead, the victim of a sudden and dangerous landslide. Four of Peaks. The mountain stone weta, W-E-T-A. I know I'm massacring a lot of these names. I hope I'm getting them sort of correct. The mountain stone weta is capable of being frozen for great periods of time before defrosting and coming back to life. So that's representative of the rest concept behind the Four of Swords, or Four of Peaks in this deck. Five of Peaks, one pipit, P-I-P-I-T. hoards the worms, keeping them away from his companion. 6 of Peaks, a black mountain ringlet, shakes himself free of the spiderweb and heads off into calmer skies. Sailing away. 7 of Peaks, even the Whio, W-H-I-O, a duck adapted to fast-flowing alpine rivers, struggles against the current at times. 8 of Peaks, the Sinbad skink, has had his tail crushed between 2 rocks. To free himself, all he needs to do is shed his tail, yet he remains reluctant. 9 of Peaks, coming home to roost, a black stilt finds his mate and chick have been mercilessly butchered by a predator who still looms on the horizon. And 10 of Peaks. Mired in snow, this merino ram has little hope for escape, especially not as the scavengers flock in. Oh, gee. Alrighty, then we have the Page of Peaks. The Takahe was considered extinct for 50 years before being discovered in an isolated region of Fjordland. Page of Peaks. Well, there's a good story, one that hasn't gone extinct. The Knight of Peaks. The kea ranks among the most intelligent non-primate animal species and is both cunning, fearless, and resourceful. Queen of Peaks, the New Zealand falcon, is a swift predator with sharp eyesight. Her main prey are birds and flying insects. She is larger than the male and can be quite aggressive if provoked. The King of Peaks is the tahr, T-A-H-R. He was introduced to New Zealand as a target for hunters and now maintains a strong population in the alpine regions of the South Island. Males are large, maned, and fiercely dominant, combating with each other for the best choice in mates. Okay, then we will move along to the suit of trees, which corresponds to wands. Let's see here. Let's see. Let me just read you a little bit about trees in general, the suit of trees. The suit of determination, energy, and action, the trees replace the wands from the traditional Rider-Waite tarot and represent the element of fire. All fauna pictured in the tree suit live in the forest habitat. They are all native to New Zealand. Ace of Trees. The irregular massed seeding of the southern beech tree spurs an increase in the population of introduced mammals and native birds. 2 of Trees. The Plusterera bee worked hard to create her nest in the soil and will soon be ready to lay her eggs. 2 of Trees, or 2 of Wands. 3 of Trees. The tiny gray warbler is putting all her time and attention into raising her big, bold chick, even though it is actually a shining cuckoo. 4 of Trees. The mutual grooming of this pair of kakariki represents the start of something new and beautiful. 5 of Trees. The male bellbirds engage in a verbal battle of dominance for territory. That fits in well with the 5 of Wands theme. Here is the 6 of Trees, or 6 of Wands. The handsome jeweled gecko is enjoying his victory over his dragonfly dinner and luxuriating in his place in the sun. The 7 of trees, 2 bold robins mob a moorpork in an attempt to chase her from their territory. The 8 of trees, the monarch butterfly, dances through the air on their annual migration up the islands to warmer climes. Here is the 9 of trees. As the native forests vanish, the Carrera clings to survive in a semi-pastoral environment, the only large fruit dispersal bird left with a stable population. 10 of trees, or 10 of wands, kind of the overburdened feeling there. The tiny Archie's frog must struggle to survive, burdened with the weight of his offspring in an environment threatened by the progress of mankind. The page of trees is the fledgling tomtit, is a little firecracker of enthusiasm and energy. Very cute. The knight of trees is the diminutive rifleman. He zips and darts through the trees in his pursuit for insect prey. The queen of trees is the female kaka, is charismatic and colorful, taking sole charge of the incubation. And king of trees is the tui, T-U-I. He is big, bold, and boisterous, both his vocal abilities and charisma worthy of admiration. All right, we're going to move along now to the suit of waves, which of course corresponds to water. Here is the Ace of Waves. The bladder kelp provides habitat and protection for a juvenile butterfish. The Two of Waves. 2 holho come together in shared recognition and understanding. This could be the start of a beautiful relationship. 2 of Waves. 3 of Waves. 3 fluttering shearwater fledglings circle and dance above the waves as they get to know one another. A variety of puffin, apparently. It's the 3 of Waves. 4 of Waves is the white-footed heron. It is not happy with the 3 fish it's already caught. She is already eyeing up a 4th. 4 of Waves. 5 of Waves is the New Zealand dotterel. This pair is so busy mourning the loss of their eggs crushed by a quad bike that they are ignoring the chick that they do have. And evidence indicates that those eggs were infertile anyway. The 6 of Waves, a pair of spotted shags, engage in a playful tug-of-war over a squid. Seven of Waves. Tidal pools provide habitat for a wide range of colorful creatures. Some are poisonous, some awkward to catch, others delicious. It's all about those choices. So the 8 of Waves, the leatherneck turtle, is a vagrant to New Zealand shores. This female is leaving them behind in search of a warmer incubation site. Nine of Waves. What could make a red-billed gull happier than fish falling from the sky? Someone to share it with. 9 of waves. The 10 of waves. It is a time for celebration for this family of Maui's dolphin. When your population numbers fewer than 60, twin youngsters are a true blessing. All right, moving on to the court cards for the suit of waves. The Page of Waves. A hooker sea lion pup spends several months together on the beach, playing, learning, and socializing with one another while waiting for their mothers to bring them their food. The Knight of Waves. The Hector's dolphin. They frolic through the waves in pursuit of fish or squid, never still and always curious. Knight of Waves. The Queen of Waves. The orca is a dedicated and affectionate parent, caring for her calf for several years, sometimes even well into adulthood. The Queen of Waves. The King of Waves. Beautiful. The sperm whale is the largest extant toothed mammal. The males can grow so large that they have no natural predators. And the last suit that we have is the suit of coins. Here is the Ace of Coins. Well, let me read a little bit about coins in general. The suit of hard work and material wealth, the coins replace the pentacles from the traditional Rider-Waite tarot and represent the element of earth. They are represented here by fauna of the urban environment, most of which are introduced and domestic, with 2 native exceptions. The Ace of Coins is a daisy. Sprouts from a crack in the cement, bringing life to a land which seems sterile and desolate. 2 of Coins is a blackbird. He juggles 2 snails in an attempt to satiate his appetite. 3 of Coins. A chaffinch trills to the sun, inviting a female into his life. 4 of Coins. The house mouse breeds prolifically and keeps her youngsters close to her. She also has a tendency to hoard for her nest. These are very cute, very Rider-Waite. I love how she did this. The 5 of Coins. A deformed feral rock dove blatantly ignores the scattered breadcrumbs and the flock foraging below. 6 of Coins. She's sharing. A domestic cat permits 2 hedgehogs to feed from her bowl. 6 of Coins. 7 of Coins. This starling must decide whether to concentrate on her 3 hatchlings or risk the added stresses of allowing the final 4 eggs to hatch. Okay, we have the 8 of Coins. With hard work and diligence, this southern ant gathers grains to store in the communal hive. 9 of Coins. Beautiful, I like that. It's like the 9 of Pentacles with the lady holding the bird on her arm. Very cute. 9 of Coins. This tiny native silver eye has found the jackpot of golden plume. Now she waits for her flock to join her in her good fortune. 10 of Coins. The house sparrow is probably the most successful wild bird in the world. Established in every continent except Antarctica, it is ubiquitous with human habitation. Page of Coins. The Border Collie was bred as a herding dog and has a strong instinct to obey, learn, and take on the many challenges required of him. Very good representation of the student aspect of the Page of Coins. Here we have the Knight of Coins. Bred to be a hardy species, the merino sheep is farmed in the high country of New Zealand and permitted an almost wild existence. They are famed for their fine, soft wool. Merino wool. The Queen of Coins. The honeybee is a very important in industry. These social insects were first brought into New Zealand in 1839. I wonder what pollinated the native plants and trees before 1839. Here is the King of Coins. The Hereford cattle were brought into New Zealand in 1869. They are farmed for their meat, and stud bulls are a valuable asset. The King of Coins. So I hope you enjoyed this quick walkthrough of New Zealand Naturally Tarot. The tarot deck by Angela Oliver. Very innovative, cute. I like how she did this. She really did a good job matching up the native flora and fauna of New Zealand. You can get this deck from GameCrafters.com. And let me just say a little bit about the card stock. Oh, here's the back of the cards. Reversible. It shows some New Zealand mountains and clouds and so forth. And it's not the greatest cardstock, but you know, it's rather matte. It's not too glossy. It's a little bit on the thick side, but not too bad. So I hope you've enjoyed this quick walkthrough. And if you enjoyed it, maybe you'll run on to GameCrafters.com and pick up your deck. All right, take care. See you next time.